It's a nice night here in September of 2025. And we just saw an amazing performance from our friend, Rebecca Sugar. How are you, Rebecca?
I'm great. I'm so excited to be back on the best show.
Yeah, that was amazing. What can't you do? What can't you? There should be a shorter list at this point. Just list the things you can't do. Your guitar playing now.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that was not something that was in your tool belt for is that a relatively new thing?
No, I started when I turned 30.
But you were taking guitar lessons. You were taking lessons to get better at guitar.
No, I didn't play guitar till then.
Okay.
I was writing songs on the omnichord and on the ukulele. And
okay.
It was getting to the point where some of them were becoming so elaborate, and I was like co-writing them with Jeff Lou and other guitar players, and I wanted to be able to play these songs that we were co-writing, especially for the Stephen movie, which had much more elaborate songs. And so that's when I started to learn. And there was a Comic-Con, I think we were there together, where I did play guitar, but I would play the top 4 strings.
Okay.
So that it looked like I could play. It looked like I could play the guitar, but I was faking it.
You're a uke whiz, right?
I've kind of forgotten how to play it now that
now you're just a 6-string. You're a shredder.
I love it. I love the guitar. And just having access to all those lower notes is revelatory.
Now, when you say Steven, what are you talking about?
Oh, Steven Universe.
You're talking about Steven. Rebecca created the show Steven Universe, which I did a voice on. Some would say the voice on.
I would say the voice.
No, I did the voice of Greg, the dad, on the show. And that was truly one of the highlights I've ever gotten to do, was getting to be a part of that. And you hear these songs you do, because the new record is Lonely Magic, and it came out just like a month ago, not even, right?
Yeah, August 29th.
Yeah, so you would write these songs for Steven Universe, or co-write them, or write them, and they were this is how it would work. I'm going to do a VO session on Steven. The call with the word would come in. Wednesday at noon. Be in the voice booth in Manhattan when I lived in New Jersey. Here's the song you're going to sing. And a demo would get sent through. And it would be like this is easy. This is 48-second song. It's the most complicated song I ever heard in my life. It would never do the same thing twice. It would be so all these things. I'm like listening to it over and over. And then, but the thing is, you send this demo where you're singing so beautifully, just like we saw and heard, and then you're handing it to somebody like me who's going rack, 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 turning it into just croaking all over the song. I heard it the right way when it was like, well, here's the demo. And then I'm just doing it's like.
But it was for you. It's supposed to be for you.
Course, but it's like, must have been like what it was like when like Paul McCartney would write a song and be like, Ringo, you should sing this one. And he would hand it like, here's a tape of me singing it. Now you sing it. And Ringo's like, ooh, goo, 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 with his goofball voice. That's what it feels like when I hear you actually sing your own songs. And I'm like, this is the voice.
Oh, thank you.
Well, it really is amazing because you're so adept at music as well as art and creating worlds and all this stuff. What in the order of all these talents or interests, which one kind of was the first one for you?
Cartooning, being a cartoonist. Okay. I was an independent comic artist first. I really did not know that music was going to be part of my professional life at all.
Okay.
That was a hobby, and I went to art school to study animation and to be an animator. So I did a little music. I had when I was a kid, I played the hammered dulcimer. It was like a little folk scene in Maryland
with the little the stick.
Yeah,
they like slide.
10-year-old at the Renaissance Fair, like doing that stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
Hammer. I like the hammered dulcimer. It's nice.
So that was, I guess, sort of my training, and and then I sort of fell off of music, and then I ended up having to write some music for my student films because they needed to have score. But I mean, I wasn't anticipating doing it as part of my work. And then once I started doing songs for Adventure Time, when I like my first writer storyboarder episode had a song in it, and once I did that first one, they started giving me more song episodes because I had done that, and then each one I was like, well, I just have to make the next song sound different than the one I just did.
Sure.
But I was not trained. I didn't know theory.
What on earth would those Adventure Time hippies have done if you didn't write the song? They just put a song in, but they're like, I don't know. They're like, I guess there'll be some kind of song will show up.
Yeah, I mean, some of them. My first one I co-wrote with Penn.
Okay.
So some of the songs, were already established, were already written by Penn or Pat or the people who had been there. There were a few other songwriters, and my first attempt at a song for my first episode, I went really like musical theater with it.
Okay.
And that was not correct. Like it immediately got taken out. And then and that was just not I learned really quickly. Oh, this show, they have to be intimate. These songs have to feel like they're really happening. And then, really wasn't until Steven that I started doing these like numbers.
You could start to really pour it all out into it.
Yeah.
So you had to kind of pull back on the Adventure Time songs and keep them a little simpler.
But I loved that too. It taught me to write these really naturalistic, like smaller. Not that I didn't really know how to write the big bombastic numbers either, but that actually worked out well for me because starting much smaller brought it more into something I could do as someone was just alone with the omnichord or alone with the instrument.
Sure.
And the goals were a little more attainable, and then the end result was so lovely. Just sort of characters interacting really naturally with each other, and music was there. So
sure. Were you writing songs that different, like when you had to write for different voices and different characters, were you putting different songs? Did songs was like, oh well, that's this one is for this person, that one's for that. Like or is it just like whichever one was up next in your head?
I did that more on Steven. I think early on Adventure Time, it really was just what fits the what fits the scene, what fits the emotion of the character. I mean, the amazing part was that I was writing the scenes, writing the dialogue for the characters, drawing the scenes, and doing the music. So it just holistically, it's like what this needs to convey, everything is doing that. And as someone who had just rolled off of making short films in school, that's how it felt like I was, and independent comics, it felt like I was doing an independent comic or a short film where it's just the meaning of the whole thing, just how, from every direction, how it sounds, how it looks. Sometimes we'd even get to weigh in on, the character design or the color if we had something specific in mind.
Okay.
And that taught me a lot before Steven of just how much freedom you could give the crew. I really wanted to pay that forward when I had a crew, give people a lot of creative control over their episodes.
Sure. To impart some trust to them.
I think later on Steven, I would start to ask, I hope I asked you at some point, but I would ask people like what kind of music they liked or were listening to. I had collaborated with Estelle quite a bit. I would ask her, I would tell her about what the song was about and say, how would you approach a song like this? And she would send me references and songs. Once she even sent me a song she was working on that wasn't done, and then I would make a playlist and I would think about that and all of the feedback. I think I would always worry though. I spent a lot of time. I never quite knew what key to put things in.
Okay.
I spent years writing songs for Finn and songs for Jake. I think often I would just be an octave above you and it would work out pretty well.
Yeah, I would. I would. They always fit. I always knew how to do it, and I was just like, I just remember just being like, please just be patient with me on this one. If
Oh,
we go in the booth and I'd be like, I get one line right, be like, let's just build this one. Like I'm not gonna get this one straight through.
I was so excited every time we'd have a record, and I was trying, like on Adventure Time too. All I wanted was to bring you in as a voice, just in any way that I could.
Yeah. Now, how did you resist the urge to not be throwing your voice all over the show?
Oh,
Because that's like, it seems like there's a certain kind of person who's like, I'm working on an animated show, and I'm going to get voice people to do this and get them interesting voices. And there's another type of person who's like, I'm doing an animated show. I'm going to do the voice of 11 characters on this show. And maybe there'll be room for somebody else. But even, I know that's an exaggeration, but even just to do a little bit of that, you really stayed off the show.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty shy. I was pretty shy about my voice. The composers, Stephen and Ivy, the composers for Steven Universe, are the ones who talked me into singing for the end credits song, and I'm really grateful that they did, because I never would have done that if someone hadn't asked me to.
Yeah.
And because I just didn't think of myself as, I studied animation, I studied art, music was something that I was slowly building confidence with. So yeah, and voice acting, I liked leaving it to the professionals.
Well, the whole thing, I understand that there's a point where you want to, there's enough to worry about.
Yeah.
Just to hold down what you're truly accountable for, that you almost have to be like, well, I need to just pick my spots here and not just try to do everything, because it's hard enough just making this thing, holding up the quality on one thing, one element of a thing.
I've been thrilled when people I just got asked to do a voice in a video game not too long ago. I was really excited about that. I play a giraffe in this game called To a T. And I was so touched. I love it when people ask me to. It's just
that's amazing.
Not something that I...
we get to do a giraffe. And anytime I did Steven Universe, it was always... there were times when I would just have to yell so much, and I was just like, I'm the yelling character on this show, but it was fun. I like yelling. It was fun to yell, but then you were just like really trying to like pull performances out of me, and I was just like, I'm giving you everything I got. I promise you, I'm giving you it all right. But it was such a great experience. It really was, and I'm so happy to have been a part of it. And the people in the weirdest possible ways will always be like I would be like renting a car, and then somebody's just like do you do a cartoon voice? Just be like, yeah, I did a thing on it was the dad on Steven Universe. Oh my God. And they just can't, but they like recognize me in the most unlikely places, and it's so sweet, and everybody's always so nice. And everybody's so like, is it surprising to you how much it means to people, the whole world you built?
Gosh, well, I was such a fan of animation, and it was so meaningful to me, and it was something that I shared, with my brother and with my parents, and so I can understand the way that it becomes a part of your life and the backdrop to these moments that matter so much. And I think there's something really special about animation in that it's an optical illusion, and so you really have to project like humanity onto it, and that's got to come from you. I think that's why it can be so polarizing, because it's a very vulnerable thing to do as an adult, to say like, I'm going to believe in this thing I know isn't real. I'm going to see myself in these drawings that are just drawings, and it's the way that you project onto them that brings them to life. So I really understand when people feel strongly and deeply about animated characters and these worlds that so yes, but I think there was a point when we were making it together over a decade ago where I would think, what is it going to be like in 10 years, 15 years when this is something people remember from when they were kids.
Yeah.
And I would always think about that, and I would think about the cartoons that meant a lot to me when I was a kid and just try to connect the dots. Like, this will be that for someone someday.
Yeah.
But I just, I think the reality of it is so powerful, as much as I could have imagined it. It's just so much bigger than, what I could see even as the person who made it.
Yeah. I mean, the things that you do, it is, first of all, it is an incredibly vulnerable thing to say, I'm going to actually put myself into this thing, when for generations, you could make the case that a lot of children's animation was anything but that, would be just kind of like, like you felt there's a lot of going on with like my favorite show was, as a kid, Wacky Races.
Oh, yeah.
But then at a point I realized they only made 12 of these things. Like they barely made any episodes. It's completely arbitrary what happens on this thing. No one kind of cared past a point on it, because just that there was the same backgrounds going by. It was just like you start to realize, like, they're just this is a bunch of old dudes in a room sleepwalking their way through some of this. We're like, that's good enough. They're kids. Like a lot of, they're dumb kids. They don't know. Yeah.
I love those, though, because, well, especially like from that particular era, the solutions they had to keep the budget so low are so clever.
Yeah.
Seeing the way that they would drive off screen and then just come back on facing the other direction, because you don't want to make this thing turn around.
No.
That's, I love watching these solutions.
Yeah, it is fun. Like I'll watch animated stuff with Julia, and she'll just be like, just watch how they put all the value into like this one moment, and then the rest of it is where they cheap out, because they know that there's like one thing. It would be just like, they went for, like, that's what all the excitement is there, and they'll just repeat that thing over and over. But she'll just be like, this is what counted. They went all out on that, and they'll keep rerunning that. Like the way shows would have like title sequences would be unbelievable, and then you watch the show, you're like, hey, where'd all that stuff? Why is none of that stuff happening in the actual program we're watching?
Yeah.
But with the world you've built, it's funny, people love it so deeply, and it's like, it just feels like it's something that's theirs in a lot of ways, where sometimes things are just people like, oh, I enjoyed that. And then it just passes by. And look, to whatever degree this show gets to be that for me, that it's like, I try to put myself into it, and hopefully and thankfully people do respond to that, where it's not just like, we're not just here, like, I'm like, oh, every week we watch a minute of Raiders of the Lost Ark and talk about that on the thing, where it's like there's none of the person in it. It's not like a show with a hook.
Right.
It's just me sitting here trying to talk to everybody about stuff. And then that's what makes people care, though. And like when you that SNL thing, I know I brought it up to you on Weekend Update when that started, because there was a Weekend Update segment where it was the couple that shouldn't be together but is together, whatever it was, like, and it was like, he's like a total meathead, and the woman was like kind of like horn rimmed glass, like whatever, like thing, and I was just like, they're gonna make a Steven Universe joke in this, and I just, for some reason, it popped in my head, they're gonna make a Steven Universe joke, and then they did. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe I actually called that one. Yes, there they are right there on the screen. She didn't have horn rimmed glasses, but he's like a goof with a backwards baseball cap.
Right. Oh my gosh.
But it just shows like that the show is now a part of the fabric of this time for a lot of people.
Right. Yeah, it's startling to see it become a shorthand for, culturally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to get my head around it sometimes.
Definitely, you're not.
But it's amazing.
In a way, you're not supposed to. Though.
Right.
You just make the stuff.
Uh-huh.
You're not supposed to also be the. You're not supposed to be analyzing the stuff. You're supposed to just be making the stuff and not worry about that side of it.
Right.
But it is just an interesting thing to see that, like when it would be these events at Comic-Con and people would be like, you could realize how much power this show had in people's lives was really special.
Yes, yeah. Those were really important too because, and I don't know how much people knew this, but Cartoon Network was based in Atlanta, and so a lot of the bosses were not necessarily with us at the studio, and Comic-Con was where they would really see what's been going on
and be like, wow, this is
and
there's something here.
I think especially because our show was pretty strange, and they didn't really know that the fandom was happening until we got to Comic-Con, and they saw this just explosion from the audience when we would start showing clips and talking about it. There was a year where they had us on stage. It was a combo Steven Universe Adventure Time panel because they thought that there was no way that we were going to fill a room. Yeah. And then people were just screaming and cheering for the Steven updates. And afterwards people were scrambling, like, how did we not know? Yeah. And that was really validating because, I knew that we had made something really great and strong, and that people were responding to it. But, it was always not, we did well in our demographic, which was 6 to 11-year-old boys. We did quite well. Okay. But we had this secondary audience that was just not on anyone's radar coming to it. And I think a big part of that was that we were making something that we all knew that we didn't really have when we were kids. Sure. And so it was for kids. It was for, our core demographic of 6 to 11-year-old boys. But it was also for all of us that wanted to feel this nostalgia for this thing we never had. Sometimes we'd be turning the dial up on just like, we want this to be like a Saturday morning cartoon. Yeah. It's not that it never was. It wasn't airing like that. But we just didn't have Saturday morning cartoons, with stories and characters like the ones that we were building. And some of that also was just the serialization. We were threading this ongoing story through, which was actually getting us in quite a lot of trouble because it made it very hard to air it the normal way, where they would just play whatever episode at any time.
Yeah, they could just throw anything on, and since it's not sequential,
yes, yeah. So, yeah, just all these, just everything that we had loved and had wanted, we were trying to throw into it, and it was really exciting to see people realize that. And that's another thing that I can't quite describe now, is how surprised people were when the story was. They were noticing that it was a serialized story, or how surprising it was when they were having characters or art like this, because the other shows at that time were just not like that. And now I think it's sort of a type of show. Oh, there'll be a mystery unfolding. Oh, there'll be, and now it's more of a thing. But it was so great at the time, like having people realize in real time, like, is this show really doing this? Like, did that really matter? And now it's coming back. I mean, that was just not.
No, it was just
something we could do.
Everything used to be like a Bazooka Joe comic, where it's just like 2 panels, and then.
I mean, I love those too.
Oh yeah, no, that's fun. Can you pull that last image back up on the screen, please? I don't know what to do with what I just saw, and it was just you'll see in a second.
Just need a sec, but yes, we'll bring it
sure.
back.
Get ready for this one.
Oh,
this is a guy at Comic-Con, or one of the comic events. He's clearly
so
dressed like Greg, and
wow, he did the tan.
He has the tan. Yeah, that's Greg.
That's awesome.
There he is. That's one of my people. Those are Greg.
Is this someone that you met?
No, those are just my people, though.
That's so cool.
Now, with the music, the record is it's all like you cover a lot of ground on the record. You have stuff that is like the kind of the very kind of elaborate theatrical type compositions, but then there's like well, we played the song that the video's coming out on Friday.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And what is it? This is a love song.
Yes.
Right? And that's like a straight ahead like rock song.
Yeah.
And then you have like bossa nova kind of feel in there. You cover a lot of ground on the record.
Yeah, it was really, well, I had done my previous personal album, but this time, I mean, this album is so much about the experience of making the show. And so I decided to try to approach it the way I approached the show, which is we worked in a ton of different styles. Whatever was right for the story is what we would do, or right for the character. And so I mapped it out like I would map out a story arc, and tried to tell the whole thing coming out, to work at the very beginning, and how challenging it was, and the conclusion I came to. And then I just, like the show, tried to treat each song in the way that told the story best. And give it, another thing I would think about often with the show is, how do I make sure, like even when I was first starting and I didn't have much training musically, I just kept trying to make the next song different than the one before. So sort of how do I make them work next to each other? How does the one after, especially when we would do musical episodes with multiple songs, how do they build on each other, and how to tonally contrast with each other? And then the other thing was I partnered with more producers and musicians who we had worked together. Stamage, who did all of the electric guitar for Greg Universe on the show, did the guitar and was a co-producer on This Is a Love Song, and did guitar for Hill to Die On. And because it's about the show, and so it was also people from the show, and they knew what I was talking about. They remembered, these times. Ivy and Sarashu produced the song Praise, and that was us reuniting after quite a long time. It was really, really moving to get to collaborate with them again. And to collaborate on something that was so much about the experience of collaborating over all those years. And really the conclusion I came to, as I was finishing the whole record, is that that's what it's all about, the people, and just the joy of making art with other artists, and being inspired by other artists and for other artists. I mean, there's so many songs I wouldn't have written the way I wrote them if I wasn't writing them for you, and if I wasn't writing it for, for Estelle and for Dee Dee, or for Susan, Egan. Like, everybody just, moved me and made me feel like, made me sharper. And then the wildest part would be showing up with these demos and having people say that they actually liked the singing on the demos, which
I loved it.
Was just, really,
really my
sweet.
Laptop is the rarest of rare things. Demos. I'm going to get my laptop stolen. I'm going to get hacked. I'm going to get hacked.
Oh my gosh. There's I feel like sometimes I feel like I thought more than other times about, I feel like I gave you some high notes that it wasn't considered of me to do.
We always found it.
Yeah.
We always got there with it. Now, what is next? Are you working on non-music stuff also, right? You're doing a few different things, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what you can or cannot talk about.
I'm trying to think of which I have been announced. I'm working on a special for Adult Swim called The Elephant.
Okay.
Which is a really, probably the most unusual project that I've ever done or will ever do again.
Okay.
And I'm working on Lars of the Stars, which is a Steven Universe spinoff. It's in the Steven Universe universe.
Yeah. And
I am loving working on that. And
now that takes place in the Greg. Look, everybody wants to know
if Greg's in the show.
Here's what I just want to pitch you directly. This. And you take this as you want. My advice Forget this Lars thing. Greg. Show called Go Greg.
Uh-huh.
He opens a go-kart track.
Oh.
Right?
Uh-huh.
The customers come in and it's fun. Right? He's always mopping up the
This is in
bathroom.
In all seriousness, I think 10 years ago, I feel like it was probably 2015, I casually pitched to a friend at Adult Swim doing a show that's all young Greg.
Young Greg?
Yes.
They're not going to let me do that. That's the worst idea I've ever heard.
You are young Greg.
Oh, well, then I like it.
You've always played young Greg.
Okay. But I just don't want it to be like, hey, here's the kid who's playing young Greg. Like I got to meet.
Oh, heavens, no. It would have to be you.
Young Sheldon.
No, nothing like that.
So he owns a go-kart track. Or I was thinking, call a show called Okay, Poke, Greg. And he opens up a poke
bar. Shop.
He opens up a yeah.
Uh-huh.
He's always just like, you want edamame on that? Right? What do you want from Station 4?
Oh man, that would really
crunchy onion.
Bring it into the present.
Bring it, yeah. What do you want? Shrimp, salmon, scallops. Just easier to think about. Look, I went ahead and took the liberty of telling everyone you are not making this Lars show, but you're switching to the Greg show. I hope you don't mind. I kind of went over your head on this one. That's dead now. That project is dead now.
Oh.
So you're kind of back at square one. And also, I'm going to charge a whole lot more this time.
Oh.
$50,000 to get me in the booth.
Oh, you
every
should.
time. And then the clock starts. So it's $50,000 to get me in. Oh. And then the clock starts for like, it's a per minute charge after that. Oh. So with the voice stuff, it was pretty amazing how you pulled together all people from all different like lines of work and different levels of experience and all these things, but it kind of added up in the right way. It was really kind of a magic trick what you pulled off.
Yes. One of the things about the casting, we knew very early on, and this is especially for the core cast of the Gems, that these characters are not, once you learn more about like Gem, their home world, these kinds of Gems really should not be interacting. Mm-hmm. And so we wanted you to feel that in that the cast was coming from completely different backgrounds. And so them being together, they're all very different from each other, but they work, and then later you find out that it really is quite unusual that they're all in the same place.
Yeah.
And then we wanted that to extend. So Dee Dee was coming from musical theater, and Michaela, was super funny and had done a voice on Barney, and Estelle, was coming to record the pilot after touring in Dubai.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, this is so fitting for all of these characters. And we really took that approach. And then I personally was excited to bring people in to do voice acting for animation that had never done voice acting before. Mm-hmm. So I am very proud that that Steven Universe was a lot of people's first animated show.
That was the first animated show I ever did. And one of the most embarrassing moments of my life, for people who get a little behind the scenes on animation, when in the script it'll say when they want just some muttery kind of words, it'll say walla walla on it, where you're supposed to just go like what would an example be of walla walla for now, right? If you were just doing it, right?
Oh, that's great. Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, I'll see you later.
It's
random talking.
Yeah, so just random talking to just fill some space. And I was in the booth, and then I went walla 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 walla, and everybody was like, "Oh no."
I don't even remember
Everybody was so embarrassed. I was like, "Oh, this is so sad." He thought we wanted him to say literally walla walla over and over again. And I'm like, what? I didn't know. And people are saying, what about Aqua Teen? This is a regular job. They didn't bring Willie Nelson back.
Yeah. Oh no. That's
I
true.
did. Yes, I did do Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I love that
was the first time I did one. But the Greg Universe's first time I became a character and could bring everything to the character. Steven! Oh, I'm so sick. I've got my cold. I have a cold, so that.
I loved how it really, there was, because when I originally, I was sort of, it was like, oh, just, come in and be yourself. And the character really developed over time to the point where like your Greg voice is not your voice anymore.
No, it became this like higher, screechy thing that I loved. It was kind of my voice, but not. It's not like I'm the man of 1,000 voices and I'm coming in and I'm like, and it's like, woo, like that. But it was just like, it was a version of my voice, but it still became, can we hear Tom's voice for young Greg? No, we can't. Not maybe if I didn't have a little raspy voice this week.
Greg sounded like Greg always. It wasn't.
Sounds like a ventriloquist.
It wasn't different.
Dummy
but
now.
Young Greg, I mean, in his late 20s. Like,
sure, yeah. No. Yeah, I guess Aqua Teen didn't pay Tom enough to count, huh? Well, you could say that.
It was so great to have Dave Willis on the show.
Oh my, yeah. He's one of the funniest people ever.
Oh my gosh, that was the best.
Carl.
Yes,
he was
Carl.
like the Greg or whatever however you say. Like
someone had written a fanfic about Carl showing up at the car wash and having a conversation with Greg, and I was just like, we have to do this. We have to find a way to get Dave Willis to come.
Carl walked so that Greg could run.
Oh my God.
That's the worst thing I've ever said in my life. So 2026, are you going to perform your music at any point? Is that in the cards?
Yes, yeah. Actually, I'm working on setting up 2 different shows right now. It's not quite a whole tour because I'm very busy with animation.
Sure.
But one locally and then one on the East Coast.
Okay.
That I'm setting up. And then I had one at Gallery Nucleus when the album released. We had a release party that was also a concert. Actually, it was so funny because we screened the music videos, and for some reason, like we did a sound check and it was all for us performing. Me and my producer Jeff Ball, who's playing violin, Louis Zong was there, who is just the most incredible artist and musician. And they did this big sound check with us on stage, but they didn't check the videos. And then when they went to play the music videos, I don't know what happened, but there were just there's no singing. Like you could only hear the instrumental, and the lyrics were going by on the video, and there was just no words. And I heard them starting it again and again. We're backstage, and it's just like, what is happening? And there's all this murmuring, and I'm like, oh, what's going on? And someone comes back, they're like, you gave us the wrong file. There's no singing. I'm like, there is no file of this with no that doesn't exist. So after like a while of this, I was just like, so what's the problem? There's just no singing. And they're like, yeah, that's it. And so I just like went out and just karaoke'd the videos. Okay. And first was Ice Water, which is like, it's an upbeat song. So I was like doing it, I know it really well along with the animation. And for whatever reason, the instrumental was playing properly. And then we go to the video, which is coming out on Friday for This Is a Love Song. And that I was like, I really hope this one works because this is not easy it's a workout for me to sing. And then they put it on and no singing. And I'm just oh, okay. All right, here we go.
You gotta go for it.
Yeah.
You know what it feels like.
Yeah. to do voices. I had to train for a few months to learn how to scream because I don't raise my voice.
Sure. No, and you do it so well. Maybe that's in you now, this rage voice.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. If you're a human, you're a human being. I'm pretty sure you have that in you.
Yeah.
So people can keep first things first. Lonely Magic is the record. It's on Bandcamp.
Yes.
It's all over the place. You get it wherever you get stuff. But the thing that you go get it. That's what you're supposed to do. Is there a physical? Is it just digital?
Yes, there is a vinyl, although
Okay.
I believe it's sold out. It was at Gallery Nucleus, but I'm planning to make it more widely available.
Okay.
So I'm working on that, and that'll be through. The vinyl was created by I Am 8-Bit, so keep an eye on them because we've been working together, and that's been really fun because we did all these Steven vinyls together, and they did such a beautiful job on them, and now we're collaborating on these personal music, which is incredibly fun. I remember there was a record they did. Oh my gosh, I think it was the first vinyl. And what I love about I Am 8-Bit is that they have really great attention to detail, and just there was a mistake in the printing, and they were going to put this thing out with the mistake, and they went around Cartoon Network to tell me, they're like, they're going to release it and it's not, we want to fix it, it's not right, but it wouldn't come out in time for the holidays. So I made like it was a custom Greg stamp to stamp onto little cards that would say, to give to people as gifts, saying this is gonna come out. It was like, this pork chop is gonna be perfect.
Oh, that's
and it was like a token for the vinyl that you would ultimately get. Oh boy, they did not like that I did that. but it worked out, and I was grateful to I Am 8-Bit for their attention to detail.
Yeah, no, that's so people can check for when the vinyl comes back out. What is that? This is
some crossover.
Yeah, so somebody
some best
did
show
a
crossover.
Felt Down reference.
These drawings are so cute.
The legendary Felt Down.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Willie Nelson and
Willie
Greg
Nelson, yeah,
together.
There he is. So, final question: what would be, on a scale of 1 to 10, how sad would it be if I was doing public appearances as Greg, which is like gray area at best legally? If I was doing like, hey, it's cameo. Hey, get your cameo from Greg.
You're allowed to do that.
No,
right?
I'm not. It's not my character. But I can't say I'm Greg. Well,
I wouldn't mind.
Well, you wouldn't mind, I'm sure.
But you could say that you're you and do something in Greg's
But if it was just a
voice.
If I was like, hey, it's Greg, and I'm wearing like the Greg t-shirt, and I'm just like, what's up, guy? Like I have a bald cap on, and I'm like every, hot dog, I'm just getting stuff wrong. I'm like not even getting it right. I didn't even put any effort into it. That would be a 10, right, on the scale, you'd say. It was like, happy anniversary, Billy. Like I'm just saying happy anniversary to one person, Billy. It's Billy's anniversary. No, not with anyone.
To me, I want one. Can I get one?
Oh, you want one?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Go Greg or Okie Dokie.
Right. It's funny. I don't know if I've been
Greg
back to the
pokey.
Beach, the Bethany and Rehoboth Beach. I'm sure there's poke all over.
Yeah.
Now, but I don't remember that from being there as a kid.
Oh, look. I'm giving you a clear path.
I remember Grotto Pizza. I remember getting fries on the boardwalk.
Greg Poke. Think about it.
I like the crispy onions detail.
Yeah. This would be like, what do you want? What kind of sauce do you want on that?
Right. Furikake.
Yeah. Just be like, oh, the sweet chili. Onion? Okay. We'll put that on. Great. The ponzu? Okay. Let's see, you're laughing already.
I like it. I really like it. I really like it.
This feels like it would be like a phone thing you'd watch, like, hey, check out the Greg Universe show, 30-second episodes. Like, just, I'd be back to Bazooka Joe territory.
Right.
Be like Greg would fall out of the frame sideways, his feet.
What was the thing? Wait, I don't even remember. What was the thing that was going to make those super tiny pieces of content? It was like an app.
Quibi?
Yes, that.
Yeah. Quibi.
It left my mind.
Rightfully so, it left your mind.
Yeah.
It left all of our minds. That's why it's not around. No, but this will be the return. Quibi comes back.
Greg, exclusively Greg.
Greg Universe content that I sell to them, and then they sort through and realize this guy had no right to sell us this. We're We're getting sued because we believed him that he had legal. Oh, Rebecca, it's so great to have you on the show, and it's so great to hear your music. It's so exciting to see the music that you're doing. It really is, because you should be, and you are. I'm so happy for you.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. You were so encouraging about my demos. It's so hard to imagine. I mean, it's been a really long path to doing music this way, and so much of it was encouragement from you and the cast and the, people who were hearing my music when nobody was hearing it because it was all internal.
Yeah, it was just.
Well, and I did put some of them online, but
yeah. But you were using them as references to the finish line, but now it is the finish line.
Yeah.
And it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Well, you can just know this. Anytime you want to come back, you come back. Anytime. I know that sounds like a challenge now, and you'll be here 6 weeks in a row, and I'll just be like, yeah, maybe not, maybe not anytime. No, that would be more me doing it. But really, anytime you want to come, I would love it, and it's really sweet that you came by and played. So.
Oh my gosh! Well, it'd be so fun. I'm so grateful to Jeff Ball, who produced the album, and Stemage, and Ivy and Sarashu, and if there's any opportunity to come back like with a band and some of the collaborators from the album to really do them. Not in the pared down acoustic way. That would be so fun. And
anytime you tell us when, and we'll be here.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to play something, and then we will be back in a couple minutes. And everybody, do not move.